Ivan the Great. Born in Moscow in the year 1440, he was declared a co-ruler by the age of 6. At age of 12, Ivan married the Princess of Tver and ended war between the two countries. Ivan finally took the throne at the age of 22. As Ivan ruled, he launched military campaigns and further increased his domain by conquest or purchase. Ivan was very skilled at exacting allegiances with weaker princesses. During Ivan's rule, he tripled the territory of his state. Even though they were expanding their borders, Russia was still under the Mongol Tatar Empire and was expected to pay them a tribute. With the Mongol Empire weakened, Ivan officially refused to pay. The Mongols did not have the strength or will to refuse this decision, so they sent one last Khan to try and sway Ivan's mind. Two armies stood opposite the other, as the Khan tried to convince Ivan, but he was not persuaded. So both armies retreated and no battle began. Russia was officially independent. Ivan's first wife passed and he remarried with the Byzantine princess, giving Russia a major European influence. This influence gave the idea of making Moscow as great as Rome once was. Ivan's success in making Moscow the center of Russia and becoming independent is what gave him the title of being great. He died on October 17, 1505.
Under the control of Ivan the Terrible, peasants were expected to do much more than before, so most of them fled to the wild, joining groups called Cossacks. Cossacks are free groups of outlawed armies that live on the borders of Russia. Under the control of Ivan the Great, the government forbid peasants to leave their masters. This caused a huge rebellion from the Cossacks. A lot of peasants died in the rebellion. He didn't edict, so peasants could not leave the land they serviced. This turned the peasants into serfs. Serfs are an agricultural laborer bound under the feudal system to work on his lord's estate.
At age 16, Ivan the Terrible pushed aside his hated advisors and crowned himself Tsar, which is the head of the Russian government. He created a new service of nobility to further crush the boyars, who received noble titles and estates in return for serving in the Tsar's army. During the reign of Ivan IV, Russia took a chaotic turn in their development. When his first wife died, he began a campaign of persecution of those he suspected of opposing him. He killed many by doing this. Russia entered a chaotic period known as the Time of Troubles, 1598 to 1613, following his death.
Peter the Great, born June 9, 1672 in Moscow, Russia, was the leader of the Tsardom and later the Russian Empire. He was known for his outstanding efforts in reforming Russia to establish it as great and a strong nation. After being defeated in the war with Sweden in 1701, Peter reformed the army and military of the Tsardom. He increased state power, strengthened his armies and militaries, and gained victory. He created schools and universities to produce skilled technicians and experts. He established a regularly standing army of more than 200,000 peasant soldiers.
Women's rights and freedom laws didn't get started until Peter the Great and the Tsar eras. The biggest change for women was the law of inheritance. This gave women a chance to inherit their father's or mother's land, riches, instead of just men, which was also good for the state so they could tax the women too. Women were also looked at differently for what occupations their husbands had.